So for me, it's always been something that's been at the heart of me. We've got teaching and education in the family as well, and it was always something that I wanted to do. My parents have often showed me the books that I've got in the loft where I've written my own sums, and then I've gone back and marked them when I was a child. And I just sort of felt I was a teacher even back then, so I think it's just run through my blood my whole life. Yeah, so my route into teaching was perhaps a little bit different. It's more commonplace now, but maybe a little different, that I found a lot of things to do when I was in sixth form that meant that I didn't put the attention to my studies that perhaps I should have, so I didn't pass any of them. So I came out of school and went to work for Lloyds. I worked in banking for some years, and then I was very lucky. I was able to fulfill my ambitions, and I went back a bit later, and that took me then into university. That took me then internationally. I wanted to gain a lot of experience in different places, so I deliberately took a route to work in the international sector, and then I worked then in the private, state, foundation, all of the other different settings, and in the UK as well. For me, I wanted to have a bigger influence. That was the biggest part for me. I could see that there were certain elements that I felt you had to follow a certain route into education. You had to pass certain exams in a certain time frame, and I didn't represent that. I had a different experience, so I wanted to have a wider impact within the schools and different settings as a leader. So that was my choice to try and broaden the impact I could have. I love the classroom, and I always was close to the classroom, even in leadership, but yeah, I wanted to have a greater impact. Yeah, so they get the NPQ qualification itself, so it's a wonderful qualification that's widely recognised, but you get then either a level 5 or a level 7 apprenticeship at the same time. And these apprenticeships, learners will have reported back to us, they enhance the experience as well then of the NPQ. So you're getting the kind of the best of both worlds there. It also means that we work very closely with the employers and the mentors. The coaches that work with the apprentices will be influencing the employer settings to provide opportunity for people to broaden their experience. What we say is you shouldn't be consolidating work that you're already doing. The focus on an apprenticeship is you must always be learning something new and creating opportunities to get new experiences. So, for example, we have activities on, we call them Future Focus. So in this particular one, there's an interview with a very well-known and published author now in the country, Evelyn Ford, a podcast which becomes available to you then on the apprenticeship programme. We've also got one on sustainability, and we have another one then on, I have to get this right, regulatory and legislative requirements. It's a practice to say it, but it expands. What we get reported back to us is that the learners say they are developing their NPQ experience and developing their knowledge as a leader, but they're also making sure that they develop outside of their remit. So you are preparing yourself, that you are aware of risk registers, business continuity, the elements that perhaps you're not quite so exposed to as you're a developing leader in education. The benefit of having coaches at best practice is that everybody comes from a background in leadership and significant leadership experience commensurate to the programme. So at level 5, the coaches would have been at that level, and at level 7, similarly, they will have been senior and executive leaders. So you get the benefit then of having coaching from professionally qualified coaches, but you could also, if you wish to, then have mentoring brought into it, because the people are aware, they know the roles that you've done, and they understand that they have some empathy then which they can draw on.